shocking crime shaken Manipur even as a panel of judges is visiting the state to visit different relief camps. Now, the body of a missing 9-year-old girl was found from a relief camp in Churachandpur district early on Friday. She had gone missing from the camp on Thursday evening, and her family kept desperately searching for her all night. The police have said that her body bore multiple injury marks. It has been sent to hospital for postmortem and to ascertain the cause of death. Let's listen in to, let's take a look rather at what exactly has been said by the former Chief Minister of State, that is N Biren Singh, who has strongly condemned the incident and also expressed condolences to the family members, hoping that the perpetrators would be swiftly brought to justice. We're running the exact tweet that has, or rather post on platform X that has been put out there by the former Chief Minister. But the incident, what needs to be taken a look at here is that the incident comes even as a high-level judicial panel is visiting the state. Judges have arrived at the Imphal airport, will be visiting the relief camps in Moirang, Bishnupur and Churachandpur. They will be assessing the condition of internally displaced persons, that is IDPs, and strengthen the legal and humanitarian aid efforts. Now, but even before this very visit, Churachandpur District Bar Association had issued a statement stating that lordships belonging to the Meitei community in the interest of people and public order shall not step into our district even though their names appear in the program. Now, this was opposed by the All Manipur Bar Association, who are opposed to Churachandpur Bar Bench's decision. Let's listen in to some of these responses that have so far come into the story before we move on into a discussion with a panel of guests for the day.
I also request to all the judges of the Supreme Court that those who are living in the relief camp, so the honorable judges should give the directions to the government to restore or go back to their original places, to their respective houses, so that they can feel comfortable, and also at the same time, after going back to their respective houses, the state government and the union government should protect that properly, and will create, I think after that, we will create this a good atmosphere.
Let me now introduce our guest here on the bulletin, Major Rajkumar Jaljit Singh, social activist, Manipur. Major, a very good morning to you. Thank you for speaking to us at News9. We are discussing about, number one, the judges who are visiting Manipur at this given point amid a period of rather heightened tensions, if we could say so. But at the same time, simultaneously, we see a 9-year-old girl who's been found dead in Churachandpur. Now, we understand the primary aim of this visit is to take a look and assess and analyze the situations in the relief camps. But how are we looking at this particular visit, given A, the circumstances around this 9-year-old girl, and B, the challenges that the administrative side has already been facing in terms of establishing peace in the state?
Okay, hi, good morning, Shreya. Thank you so much for having me on your show. A couple of points, what I like to highlight about is, firstly, as far as the 6th panel of judges from Supreme Court visiting Manipur, that's highly appreciated. And I think, it gives a scope for establishing law and order and coming back to normalcy. But some of my strongest concern or deepest concern I had was, some of the comment made by Churachandpur Bar Council associations, the audacity for them to impose certain restrictions to the Honorable Justice of Supreme Court, that he cannot land because he's from a specific community. That's really, really disheartening. Even the concept of making that comment itself has to be discouraged. Not just discouraged, the Bar Association of Manipur and the Supreme Court have to act against that. Now, why I'm calling out is, it's not time for us to be a little soft and nice when such intense violence are happening for more than 2 years. Now, the accountability part is missing completely. Now, what I want to call out here is why they have been emboldened to make such kind of statement is look at like when the president rule has been established and the governor of Manipur wanted to ensure the free movement on 8th March. And there was a strong protest by the Kuki group that Kautu in Kankokpi, instigated by some of the militant, chanting narrative saying that instigating for pelting stone, and there was a violence which took place. One was killed and many were injured. Now my question is, what has the government done so far? What has the law enforcement agency done so far? No action has been initiated so far. Now, the second thing is, again, on 17th of March, there was a violence which took place in Churachandpur between two communities, especially between Mar and Kuki, instigated by, Kuki itself. What has the government done so far? Have we arrested any criminal? Has we arrested any leader who instigated the violence in both instances? Now, there are series of, if you connect the dot, there are series of incidents which has happened, and I find quite appalling when we fail to act or we fail to be tough when we should be. This encourages such kind of act crime which happened related to the 9-year innocent little girl. Now, why this is happening is, it's not a crime against the innocent child. What I will say here, it's an assault on the fundamental values of the society. Now, this has to be protected by our law enforcement agency. They need to act tough. I understand it's a little complex situation, but enough time has been given by the honorable, the government, the central government, even the current governor Ajay Bhalla. He have given adequate time, and there are, the peace-loving communities have already responded to that, but there are communities who are adamant. So that has to be acted. The leader has to be made accountable. Until unless the law enforcement are not seen as tough in acting, such crime are bound to happen.
Right. So, Major, over the period of last 2 years, we have seen definitely, as you've said, unrest still continues to, the turmoil still continues to exist there. But we've seen several developments taking place. We've seen a change in leadership. We have also recently seen the authorities trying to ask the people itself there to submit and surrender all of their weapons without them taking any action against those who will come in and submit their weapons to those very authorities, to the security personnel there. But at this given point, despite all these efforts, we still see tensions existing. In fact, from time and again, in intervals, we still continue to see tensions heightening and situations escalating in just pockets of Manipur even today. And in fact, one such example is the 9-year-old girl who's so unfortunately lost her life. So at this given point, what are the major, you have mentioned one, that yes, authorities, there is a missing accountability factor that is there. But in terms of establishing peace process, what would you have to say? What is the next step? Be it one that needs to be taken by the governor, be it one that needs to be taken by the security personnel. What next for Manipur at this point to establish peace?
I think we made a couple of points like earlier. So we have to start with small initiative. Now, when you talk about the violence happening in Manipur, in a large area, there is a peace. So we don't have violence in any of the, Imphal surrounding district, like including Imphal East, Imphal West, Thobal, Bisampur. Like this is normally extremely calm area. And any of the Naga dominated areas, we don't see violence happening at all. Now it's very clear now for us to identify who are the instigator, who wants to prolong this violence. It's time for us to act right now. There are only specific district where you see this violence propping. The incident of the child which happened, it's in Churachandpur, and it is instigated by Kuki and the so-called the armed group supporting them, like including ITLF. And even in Kankokpi, this is again a Kuki-dominated area, instigated by Kautu, and you have your KNAB. So these are like, sorry, I mean KNF P. They are the one who are instigating the leaders. We have seen the videos, the kind of statement making. It's very clear for the agencies to identify who are the one who is instigating. It's time for us to act. Now, why I'm highlighting out here is majority of the community want peace and to live, in harmonious and in a respectful way. Every community should do that, and many of them are for that. I know many of them who are not comfortable coming out, but I can assure you majority of the communities, majority of the people, both the communities right now, or all the communities right now, wants peace. It's only the certain element who are instigating that has to be made accountable. There are enough evidence, videos uploaded, the leader instigating it. It's time for us to act. So my only appeal is identify the instigator, not like doing a eye wash or appeasing, responses like knee-jerk reactions. It's time for us to deal this situation in a very tough way. Identify which are the area, which are the leaders. Why can't they be accountable?
So when you say time to act at this given point, let's also understand how to go about with this entire process with those parts of the community, those sections of the community that even at this given point are demanding for a separate administration for their own communities. They do not want to be associated with the larger state of Manipur at this given point under the circumstances that have unfolded not just in the last 2 years but has been, piling up for the last couple of years now. How do we go about with addressing those demands?
I think that demand is firstly is an illegal demand, because like if you talk about our how our India as a constituent or a republic country, how it has been established, we have always approached a democratic approach, a peaceful approach. We should not encourage people killing 250 and demanding a illegal separate administrations. That first of all, it has to be strike down. And even our home minister has made it very clear. This demand is illegal and we're not going to fulfill it. And there is absolute, clarity from the government side also. This is like, it will encourage plethora of such demand if you try to appease certain segment. A society cannot be divided. It cannot be, based on ethnocentric. We cannot divide a society further down. So that's why it's made very clear. And this demand from the day one itself, how the violence instigated, it's again, while you see there was a judgment which came by order by a high court to
Right.
to enhance or expedite the process, and there was a violence. Do you justify that? So it is
Absolutely.
an undemocratic approach. So what I'm trying to highlight out here is uh, um, their demand is.
Meja, I'm extremely sorry. I'll have to interrupt you there because we've completely run out of time. But we do understand your point that you're making here. That number one, the main demand is to act at this given point and hold those responsible accountable. These are the two major issues and points that you've highlighted that is key to establishing peace in the northeastern state of Manipur. Major Rajkumar Daljit Singh, thank you so much for joining us on News 9.